Record. Welcome Wonderlands Wanderers, this is Robert here and new video, new game. It's been a while and Wonderlands is out for what feels like an eternity, but I wanted to wait to make a video on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands until I basically hit endgame and can tell you a little bit about the game, the story, how the endgame feels and what this is about. So basically, if you don't know, if you haven't checked up on this, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is like a Borderlands spin-off. It's basically Tiny Tina from the Borderlands characters narrating and hosting a Dungeons and Dragons like game, and you are playing one of the characters in this game. So you are in the Dungeons and Dragons, or how it's called in this game, the Bunkers and Badasses world, and yeah, progressing through a very, very nice story compared to Borderlands 3, with a very, very charming villain and a very, very nice supporting cast. And yeah, I've been doing that for the past couple of weeks and just wanted to run through one of the endgame dungeons while I explain a little bit about what my character's up to, what I've been doing with it, how I'm approaching the game, and yeah, what this is basically all about. So, in difference to previous Borderlands titles, you don't have a preset character for this, you don't have a preset class. You basically can pick any of the starting classes, which there are 6 of them, and then you can multi-class them with any class that you want at a certain point in the story. So you basically have potentially 30 different character builds to play. And I'm playing a Spellshot as my main class and a Stabbo monster as my secondary class. So Spellshot obviously focuses on spells. Spells are replacing the grenades in this game, so there are no grenades, but instead there are spells. And every character can equip a spell, or instead of a grenade, with the Spellshot being able to sacrifice their action skill and equip two spells at the same time instead. And that's basically what's happening here. And then also one of the Spellshot's abilities is, or basically their capstone skill is that whenever you land a crit, every 5 seconds you have a chance of getting your spell cooldown back. So I have one spell that I have is like this massive meteor. It's my highest damage spell, and it takes like 30 seconds to come back off of cooldown, and the Breaking Calamity that I have also has a pretty high cooldown. But if I land a crit, I have a 15% chance of getting my entire cooldown back at once, and that basically makes it so that every 5 seconds, if I'm very consistent with my crits, I can actually spam my spells all over the place. And then obviously I do have plenty of perks that will give me spell damage and gun damage and spell cooldown. And we can see how crazy this is in this encounter. This will spawn in like a mini boss. Basically we'll just start with my spells. We'll just shoot a little bit. Unfortunately the enemies here are airborne. Yeah, once I land a crit, now I can cast my skills again. It's a bit one of my spells is ground targeted, so it's a bit unfortunate that we have flying enemies here, but let's see if we can manage. Alright, there's also some ground enemies. To move away every time enemies die because of spinning lasers. Also, I invested quite a bit into reload speed.
No magic left.
Where is that? most terrible mini-boss that could have spawned here. Please stop being immune. Come on.
Our battle is not yet over.
Easy. Not the most elegant display of my skills here. It was a pretty unfortunate combination of enemy spawns there, but it's fine. We still live, and maybe the next encounter will be a better showcase with better enemy groups. Yeah, this is a glass cannon build, pretty much.
Back in business. Shall we continue?
So
A belly blow.
ow! I should not have run into this. So I'm taking millions points of damage, and I can't really regenerate them unless I kill things, cast a spell, or reload my gun. Because I cannot naturally regenerate my shield. I lost that perk while investing into damage, and I can only get my shield back if I reload or cast a spell. So there's that. Another reason to cast spells very frequently.
The end draws near.
Whee! Yeah, I'm gonna try and make it to the boss as fast as possible. So again, this is the highest difficulty level, 500 and something % enemy HP and tons of enemy damage. I'm not making it very hard on myself. I'm literally, because this is the very first time I'm playing in the highest difficulty, I opted in for buffs. So I have lots of buffs currently in this encounter. So I have increased move speed, increased crit damage, and that was expected.
Manners tapped out.
And the opposite of this is, if you don't want to receive a lot of buffs, but instead focus more on rewards you're getting at the end of the run, you basically have to do this with negative modifiers on the map, which is a little bit like Path of Exile. So, for example, these poison spinners, or these spinners in general, or these traps, they appear in this game based on the curses you choose. Ammo capacity.
Such a grand answer.
But I opted for positive effects to be able to survive until the end, because I don't yet know how difficult the end boss will be at Chaos 20. So Chaos 19 was already pretty hectic, and I need to learn the boss mechanics a little bit more. Before I can start making the bosses more challenging, or the arena more challenging, so to say. Also, enemy density is not a thing in this zone. Can we please get spell damage? Nice. There's a million enemies down here. Alright, awesome. That should leave us to the boss. Nope, still one encounter to go. Okay, let's hope it's a quick one. do that. That's... where are we? Here, nice. Let's quickly do this to get a little bit stronger. We have a side objective here. So let's try and complete that.
I cannot. Wait.
My spells heal me as well. That's very essential. Just wish I could get shields back in a more consistent manner as well.
I shall uphold my oath.
Hi, Gentry. Nice. Okay, now we should get to the boss. So that's the thing, right? Now to get my shield back, I basically need to cast some spells. Or reload, like. Just a bit annoying. But yes, there's the boss portal. We are fully reloaded. Before we go into the boss, we're gonna switch out one skill with this guy. And I'm choosing the Buffmeister, if you are aware what this is. I'm choosing the Buffmeister in the left slot, so I won't bug it out. Let's refill this, and let's go. Let's see how fast we can melt this boss, if we can melt the boss. You can hit it.
Imminent destruction.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Ow.
I can cough again.
Arena mechanics. Great.
I'll fire the
There
vitality
we go.
if you need it.
Jesus.
Shall we continue? Let the death of their mighty herald those of their weak.
Yay! And another legendary. Cool. And there is our reward. Cool. So this was literally the first time I encountered a level 20 chaos run, which is awesome. Also, luckily there were no story spoilers in this run, since the boss at the very end was a side quest boss, so it's not essential, it doesn't matter. So let me go over the character a little bit. So like I said, I chose to be Spellshot Stabbomancer. As a Spellshot, I'm using the dual spell thing. I obviously focus on crit damage, on a lot of reload speed, because this is how I get my ward back whenever I cast a spell or reload. This one, Glass Cannon, basically makes it so I get tons of spell damage, but I can't regenerate ward anymore. But then high threat counter actually have 2 out of 1 because of my armor piece, so I can stack spell damage even more. Spell damage is then converted into gun damage as well, so that's this one here. I get more fire rate for spell stacks. Bonus gun damage based on spells, increased gun damage per stacks of spell weaving, and then obviously the chance of getting my cooldowns back once I crit. And then in Stabbomancer, I have inherently a 30% increased crit chance. I have gun damage increases here. The faster I move, the more damage I deal. Status effect, I basically just chose those status effect and effect damage. I chose to come down here, which gives me the ability to shoot and sprint, to have more evasion, and yeah, basically more damage. And all this plays together with the items. So my clear setup, you've seen it before, is pretty much the, where was it? Not the Sunder, but actually the, no, it was the Sunder, yeah, the Burgeoning Quaking Thunder, because this one gives
Energy
me, this has lots of AoE, it chains to different enemies and has a pretty high base damage and gives me health back. And then the Calamity, which is has super high impact damage, and those meteors that spawn out of it, if I hit an enemy just right, the enemy actually gets hit by all the meteors as well, which means yeah, tons of damage. So 2 very high damage spells paired with a very fast firing high pellet count gun, which makes it so that I get enough crits, with an enchant on it that when I get a spell kill, my crit damage goes up for my next crit. My melee weapon, which I basically never use, but it has an inherent really good enchant as well, that whenever I cast a spell, then my elemental damage goes up. All my weapons are elemental, so there's a synergy there. These 2 weapons are just for utility. I have this one because I can create a portal which lets them fall down if they land in it, which is a nice CC. And then this one I literally just have as a corrosive weapon because I currently don't have any good corrosive skill. So if I come up against an enemy with a armor health bar, I have something there. But other than that, the SMG, again, high pellet count to crit as often as possible. And then for single target, I have the Queen's Cry. This is an amazing weapon because whenever this hits something, also this has tons of pellets, as you can see. It has like 5, 6, 7 even, I don't know, lots of pellets. So lots of chances to crit something. And also if I hit an enemy, there's a chance I actually spawn an ice meteor. Complementing that, the armor piece I'm using, +1 to high threat count, +2 to reload speed, then a shield. I just went for maximum ward and highest capacity because delay doesn't do anything, recharge rate is doesn't do anything, so that's completely fine. Spellcast increased dark magic damage. That's important because yeah, my spells are primarily dark magic damage, and then I have rings that give me spell radius, spell damage, and this one actually not that great. I don't use the assault rifles really, but it has flat gun damage and dark magic efficiency, so I haven't found any better ring to replace that yet. And then the amulet is again dark magic damage. Majority of my spells are dark magic, Spellshot power, status effect damage, and reload speed. All damage would be a lot nicer here, but yeah, that's what we're going with. As for myth rank, I'm basically trying to get spell damage whenever I can, whenever I'm here. I maxed out Constitution and Strength to get to max Strength, and now investing in dark magic damage. Here I'm upping reload speed, already upped Dexterity as fast as I can. Then I'm probably gonna choose gun handling next. And here Wisdom, I don't really care. I'm pretty much concentrating on loot luck at the moment, and will after that probably, I don't know, I might just pump Wisdom because there's nothing else for me to do here. Ability damage doesn't do anything for me because I'm not using abilities. Might be more important for other classes though. And yeah, that's about it for my hero stats. I made the mistake of not going Village Idiot, so I have only 36 strength, maxed out Constitution, and trying to pump more points into Dexterity whenever I can, but unfortunately this is already maxed out. It's very important for me to get more crit chance, but yeah. Intelligence, cooldown, again, I don't need it, I just need to crit. Status damage, I had this max before, but it wasn't doing much for me. And then again, attunement, I don't need it because I'm using spells and not abilities. And that's about it. That's for me, the character. I still have some side quests to do, and I will now actually start farming. Like I want to get this gun again. I want to get a similar gun like this again, and then work with enchants a little bit more. My whole accessory range can need upgrades, and yeah, again, I have still side quests to do, and then it's probably off to starting a new character and running through the campaign again, which I really much enjoyed. And now that I know how the game works, I will also do everything in a better order than I did before. So yeah, that's that. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you around. Bye bye.